Okay guys, so welcome to the class number 3. I just wanna do a double check if you can hear me, please. Give me a big hi into the chat. I just wanna know if you can hear me, please guys. Chat that. I just wanna be sure that we are with everything ready, all set up. And in the meanwhile, if you can hear me, please let me know how are you guys. All right, so just to do a double check, I see Lechua here. So hi, welcome new Hui May. Also, welcome to Basti Soriano, who is from this very starry morning. So welcome to Chu. Hi, welcome also for Capi TV. Welcome to the class and welcome Davon. I see that Davon is here also. Also, sorry for this, probably I'm not pronouncing your name the best, but Queen Wong Nguyen, hello also. Welcome for New Trenchen. And welcome for Davin. Yeah, it seems that now you can hear me, guys. So, alright, enjoy your dinner, Lutation. So, let me switch to the full screen. So, welcome, guys. Welcome to the class number 3 officially. It seems that you are able to hear me, but anyway, I want to do a double check here. I want to do a double check in my end because sometimes, hear me guys. Yes, you can hear me completely like confirm it now. So I'm going to close down this screen and we're gonna start with the class, okay? So, guys, let me switch very quick here to the actual presentation. Just a second. Okay, so supposed to just to be able to see my screen now. Yes, you're able to see my screen, guys. So now let's start with some things about the minicamp. Just as always, I'm going to do a quick introduction so we can start learning by today. Okay, so welcome Dragon Sky also. All right, so Davon is telling me that he's eating, so I hope you enjoyed your dinner. I just eat like 5 minutes ago, just very fast before the streaming starts. I was like, oh, and I eat a lot. Okay, so Basti Soriano, you can be a moderator. Yes, we can talk about that. So please write down into the Discord channel, and I will be able to talk with you, and probably you can become a moderator. Okay, guys. So let's start with it, okay? So as you already know, this month we are going to learn how to do a happy Tycoon map, okay? Very important, guys. I know that we are going to learn how to do a happy Tycoon map, but, and this is the big part, but I'm going to actually add some extra things and reduce some orders, okay? So what happened is that I don't want to only just to teach you how to do those kind of games. I also want to teach you how to create an UI interface, how you can decide if an UI is working or not. So this month lesson, it's going to be a lot focus into creating the new UI editor, the user interface editor, because I want you to learn that. That's a very powerful tool that you can do and use for a lot of things. So this month we are going to learn, of course, I do a happy Tycoon, but it's going to be focused into the social part, into the social gaming, okay? So what does it mean? In the game you are going to have an awesomeness meter and you can react to actually get more points or reduce more points. Our Tycoon is going to be more to be the best person in the party rather than become, I don't know, like an industry main dealer. Like, yeah, you get that idea, okay? I also see here that Joseph Morales is here, so welcome Joseph to the class, welcome also. And that's how we are going to start, okay? Let's move forward very quick. This is the prizes, or those are the prizes that you can win for the minicamp, okay? So for the excellent award, you are going to have up to $60 and you can win about 5 people. The name is self-explanatory. To have the excellent award, you have to create a one of the best maps, of course. Okay, the next one is the most creative one. Okay, this is also for 5 people, and this is the most innovating one, but I always like say this. You need to create something that has new features, that is innovation, but that is valuable for your game. That means, as an example, that if you are creating a racing game, to have, I don't know, like a wall to paint is not going to add some extra features to your gameplay. It's just going to be a feature that is going to be standalone and it's not going to feel that good, okay? So be sure that the things that you create and innovate are going to be valuable for the gameplay, and it's going to increase and make the gameplay more enjoyable. Okay, next we got the best learning prizes, guys, and this is going to be just for those that implement most of the things that I'm going to teach you. Okay, and remember that the minicamp is a learning event in comparison of other minicamp ideas. This is just going to be for learning. Okay, so we have up to 20 people to win this one. And finally, but not least, in the prizes that you can win with money, you are going to have the $15 prize for the best progress. Those are going to be for those of you that are not developers or are just developers level 1. It's like the amateur category or the amateur, prize. And it's kind of easy to win in comparison of to the others because it's up to 30 people. Then we got the shortlisted. This is going to be for those that create a map according to the rules I'm going to teach you. For those, you can win the permanent skin, and the permanent skin is going to be this one, the one that you are seeing in the screen right now. Also, we got this time 2 new prizes. The submission one that is just for submitting your map, and then we also have the hour traffic. Okay, so if you want, you are going to be like in the top part. You are going to be also in the top topic creation for this, and we are going to try to get traffic to your map, so you are going to get more downloads, more players playing, and that's going to help you out to grow up into the minicamp. Okay, into Miniverse, of course. Okay, all right, so let me read you in the chat very quickly. Okay, so Basti Soriano says that he used the Vietnamese version of Miniword. I didn't know that Miniword has a Vietnamese version, but I think, yes, I saw some events long time ago that were only for Vietnam and also for Thailand. Okay, very cool. You have a permanent skin, says Davon. Yes, that's cool. Yes. So just to let you know, most of the permanent avatars of the avatars that you won in the events are not going to be available for buy, are just going to be able to be got by events, okay? Just let me switch to Spanish one second. Hola Alexis, ¿cómo estás? Bienvenido al canal. Lo que pasa es que estamos en la clase de inglés. Más o menos en 12 horas, o sea, 7 de la noche hora Colombia, comenzamos con la clase en español, ¿vale? En este momento en mi horario son las 7 de la noche, o sea, de la mañana, perdón. Mira tu horario en tu zona. Alright, let me switch back to English. Dragon Sky says, I'm very busy. So you think I can participate in this minicamp? Of course you can't. As I'm going to provide you almost all the information that you need to create your map. You only will need about 1 or 2 weeks, so you can get your free time for that. And it's what I hear a lot about you guys is that a lot of you see the classes but don't participate. Don't worry. My recommendation is participate, because when you participate into the minicamp, when you submit your map, we will be able to just qualify your map, and you will be able to know what are you doing wrong and what are you doing right, and you will be able to improve your map. So I highly recommend that if you are seeing the event, try to participate. Try to create your map. That is going to be very nice for you, okay? All right, so let's continue with this. Let's move to the timing, guys. Once more, we are in the class in the week number 2, so we are officially seeing the class number 2. Remember that minicamp has changed a little bit. Now we have a party on the first week, so we are in the class number 2, and we are going to learn a lot of things. Remember that after this, tomorrow, same time, we are going to have the 3rd class, and the next week we are going to have 2 classes more, okay? Now, For those that are not connected to the minicamp, remember that we have a Discord group. You can access to the Discord group, and in the Discord group, I will be able to answer your questions. I also will be able to qualify your maps, and you can search for a team. Also, you can talk with the people. But very important, guys, I know that a lot of you are from Vietnam, and you are more than welcome. Also, the people from Thailand, from any part of the world. The only thing is that in the minicamp English, you have to speak in English, okay? So welcome, Casey. I see that you are telling you're late. Don't worry, we haven't started yet. We are just telling the normal things about the minicamp that we always do. Oh, all right. So I see that Dragon Sky, I see that you are very busy. So thank you so much for watching the streaming. I hope you learned a lot. And when you get a free time, you can start creating your map. Don't worry. For me, more important that you create maps or participate is that you learn. So if you learn, I will be more than happy. All right. So now next, guys, we are going to have different prices. Of course, as always, we have that dynamic that is going to be depending of the amount of views that we are going to have for the minicamp. So I'm going to start giving the codes while we are the class after and after, okay? So moving next, we have the class objectives. Today, we are going to learn some things. We already take a step ahead. In the last class, we learned how to create some basic triggers. Now we are going to start with the scenario basic elements with the game plan, so you will know for sure how to structure a map, how to create the base for a map in the concept, and then you can move and just place that into a real game, okay? And most important, as I'm going to focus this minicamp and teach you how to use fully and understand how the graphic interface, how the user interface works, I want to start to teaching you the graphic design fundamentals. At the end of the class, you will know some basic things to create very beautiful UIs that will be like a step ahead and look more like a professional thing. Because probably if you notice, when you try to create your user interface, sometimes it doesn't end as you like it. You hope it's going to be more like beautiful, more like aesthetical one. And with this, you are going to have the basic tools. And the class of tomorrow, we are going to start to learn another things about this. We are going to learn we are going to add to this basic layer, the graphic design layer, we are going to add a user interface layer. So you are going to learn how a button works, what kind of different kinds of user interface or interactions you can use and are the most common one, okay? So let's continue, and we already did this the last class, so we are going to switch directly to the scenario basic elements, okay guys? So I will answer questions before this, so if you have questions, just let me know into the chat. I will be able to answer all your questions, okay? So let me check the chat here. Okay, so Basi Soriano says, I made a fan-made skin dark choco cookie. Okay, that's cool. If you want to show it, just show us a screenshot into the Discord group. Letri says lap. I don't know what you're talking about. Probably you are speaking in another language. Okay. Alright, they want to switch into Indonesian. I'm not sure. Alright. Okay, guys. So, welcome Zenith. Welcome Grand Adventurer here. I'm just going to give you some extra permissions as you are a moderator from the Discord channel. And now Grand Adventurer, you will be able to moderate here if you want also. Okay, so guys, now we're going to start with these basic things, that is the scenario basic elements, okay? So just give me a second here. I'm going to disappear from your screen a little bit, so I will be able to show you better some things, okay? So the important thing that you need to learn is this, okay? So when I actually start to creating the class or the map, before you start creating your map, what I highly recommend is to do a sketch about your map, okay? So in the screen, I bring some of the basic ideas I create before starting creating my maps, okay? So if you already play the map, you are going to realize that the final idea or the final map, the final scenario, it's very similar to the one you are seeing on the screen. Of course, I have to reduce and adapt some parts because we have, for this minicamp, a lot of specific requirements by the mirror team, okay? So one of the most specific requirements was the size of the map. So that's why I have to reduce this a lot. But the main idea, it's just the same. It keeps being the same. So you are going to find that very similar. Once more, I'm going to show you the final result for those that haven't played the game yet. Okay, it's this one, the one that says Hell's Party. And let me show you from the top how it works, how it seems, how it is. So you will be able to see how is the map, okay? So let me just climb here. Let me change also my range of view. Remember that we can change that on here, on settings. One moment, guys, and you're gonna see it right now. Okay, so that's what you can see on the screen. If you check, it's very similar, okay? And what I did is actually separate and first do a schedules just for know how the art of the map is going to look like. And also, most important, guys, I separate by locations. You can see that the auditorium is going to be the big one that you can see on here. Okay, that the Hell Square is going to be this small square where you were going to do the party. That is this one that you see on here. The Caronte Beach is a beach that actually you can see back here. And that is where you can play the water games. Now we have the player dungeons that are going to be those houses. Of course, I need 8 of them. And so I have to change that a little bit. I have to move this to be able to put this in another area, okay? It's going to look a little bit better. And also, you will have something like the art room, which actually plays and divides into. This is going to be for sculpture. This is going to be for painting the walls. The Hellhatam Street, that is going to be the street in the middle, which actually have to modify a little bit. And also, if you see, there are some locations that are not in the final version. As an example, I was planning to place a market right in the middle. I weren't able to have enough time to place the market, so I just left the space here, okay? So, why is it important to define this? Because you will be able to plan your construction, and also you will be able to just plan where your activities are going to be. So remember that this game is going to have like different activities, and those activities are going to be or happened in specific locations, okay? So, as an example, once more, if you see my screen, you will see that everything is divided, okay? So, of course, you cannot see those blocks in player, but the Hell Square is separated, so you're going to have some activities here, and the players cannot exit from here, okay? It's going to be a separate space. Also, this Hellhatam Street, where the players are going to play the decoration of the dungeon, it's going to be separated. If you see, the art room for sculpture is also separated. Of course, you have a door, but players cannot exit. And, of course, all the areas in the scenario that are going to be standalone playable are going to be separated, okay? So that's the first part. And I bring you also, guys, and let me back to the screen. I bring you some rules that you can use to actually change this to make it look a little bit better, and also to have more like an objective part about what you can do and how you can do some things into the map, okay? So I bring you some rules that you can apply for constructing this, some rules you can apply for any like map, or others are going to be just for this map, okay? So the first rule that I always bring to you guys is 64 max pliable area. What does it mean, guys, okay? This one, it's going to be one of the most crucial one, and is that your map can of course have more size, okay? You can have a map of any size, but the area where the players are going to play, it cannot exceed that size, okay? Even if you place 32 by 32, it's going to be better. Why? Because as an example, you want to create an effect right here, okay? So if the player is next to it, if the player is around the area, you will be able to actually play the effect by triggers and by scripts. But if you are more than 30 blocks or 60 blocks, depending on your view, that effect is not going to work. So that can bring you a lot of problems. If you are, as an example, creating creatures or monsters that are not in the area or around 32 blocks of the player, it's not going to work. You can work, of course, with more, but that is going to depend on this, guys, okay? So that is going to be the limitation. If you have near, it's going to be 32 by 32 blocks. If you have medium, the players can see 64s. With this one, they are going to see 96 and so on, okay? So that means that if a player that can have this, because you know most of the players, of Miniworld has like not the best settings for the phone. Probably are going to have not expensive phones. So they are going to need to use this one, okay? Because the phones are not going to work fine for them with that, okay? Most of the players are going to have in between those two. Of course, there are a lot of players that use the others, that is going to be farther and farthest, but be sure that you place it 64s at max, okay? Now, this other rule is for this map, for each one of the different activities that you are going to place or the locations, you need to create an area where the players are going to spawn, okay? So how it's going to work, guys, okay? I want you to see you have this area here, okay? And as you see, I have like the different areas here, the ones I show you here, okay? As an example, we have the auditorium here. So we have the auditorium in this area, and the players are going to spawn anyway, any part around this area, okay? So also, if you see, I have the sculpture room here. So the sculpture room is going to have the same rules, guys. If you see here, you have the sculpture room, and the players are going to spawn around this area, and so on for each one of the different activities. Of course, you can see here, I also have one for the art room and for each one, okay? So remember, guys, for each one of the different areas or locations that you are going to have on your map where the players are going to place certain activities, you need to create an area, okay? A region. Now, this is also going to be an important rule, guys. Be sure that your players cannot, and very big, guys, cannot exit from the playable area. What that is, I mean with this, I don't mean that they cannot exit from the game, I mean they cannot exit from the area, okay? So if you see here, if I get teleported to this location, that is going to be the sculpture room, and if I wanna exit, I cannot exit, okay? Even if I can fly, because in my game you can fly, in this specific game, you won't be able to exit, so we are going to be sure that the players are going to be focusing the activity, because if you don't do that, the players are going to just try to do anything. So if you open the door, the players are just going to exit and they are going to just be wandering around, okay? So be sure that the players can not exit on the area. The fourth rule is make it wow, okay? And this is very important, guys. Make it wow means that you can place just a normal square area, but as this is going to be a party game, and this is going to be very related with the visual parts, I need you to make it look amazing, okay? Be impressive for the players. Normal constructions are not going to work, so try to just make it standing for the players, okay? So try to place some decorations, sculptures, make the players be amazed by the construction, okay? So instead of placing just normal houses, try to make your house a little bit better looking, okay? Now, this is going to be very important, guys, and it's a mistake I see that a lot of you are committing right now in a lot of constructions, okay? I know that the people who actually is very advanced at Miniware doesn't suffer of this, but the most basic players, the players that probably didn't know how to do it better, are going to commit that mistake, okay? So you need to give a different color to the floor than the walls, okay? And let me explain you why. That is a cool trick that you can always learn. It's like giving you more contrast when you're creating your map, okay? So let me show you an example very quickly here. Let's use this map. Remember, guys, if you see this one, don't play it. It's just a map that I used to do my experiments. You are not going to find anything cool on that. So that's why it has a password, of course. As an example, let me do a quick construction here. I'm not going to take that long. I'm just going to do something very quick. Let's do this. Okay, so I'm going to do a construction here very quickly, of course, and we are going to do it with a normal block, okay? So first I'm going to select this, okay? And then I'm going to do a quick roof here. And we are going to do it very quickly, okay? Okay, so check this, guys. This is going to be very important. Okay. And we are going to put a roof once more. One moment, we almost finishing here. All right, so imagine this is a house, all right? Okay, this is a very quick house, of course. It's not the best example of a house, but I want you to check this, okay? So check that if the walls and the floor and the roof have the same color, it's not going to look that good, okay? If you enter here, also you are going to see that everything is very similar, okay? So it's going to be very confusing. Of course, that depends on the construction, but most of the times this is going to work. A quick trick that you can use is just to change this, okay? So once you change the color, and also check, we are using like different blocks, but all the blocks are going to look the same because it's the same color. But if you do something like this, guys, I don't know, let's do this. Okay, it's going to look better, but check that we are not using colors because the floor is white and this is gray. It's looking better, but it still left something, but now looks better for the players and not also for the visual part. Also, you are going to see that the walls are going to be more noticeable for the players, so the players are going to really know what's happened there, okay? So as an example, I'm going to use this one, okay? I'm going to use this color, and now it looks better because the players will know the difference between the floor, the walls, and the roof. And now I'm going to put a different color to the roof, okay? Remember, it's going to be a quick tip. Of course, you are going to produce a better construction. This is just a quick example. And I don't know, let's use this one. As you see now, just by that detail, it's going to look more like a house. It's going to have, I forgot to change this also. Just give me a second. Let's do this. Okay, where is it? It's around this area and that. All right. So guys, check this. Now the house looks much better just by changing the colors, okay? Of course you need to combine it, but as you see, it's going to look more like a house and less like a normal part of the floor, okay? That was just a quick example. And the last rule, guys, the last rule that you can apply here is Don't let your players die. This is just for this game. Remember that if you have a fighting game, of course you want the players to die. But in this one, be sure that the players are not going to die. If the players die, there's going to be a problem because probably it's going to ruin the gameplay, okay? So as this game is not about killing, you may be sure that the players cannot die, okay? So that's going to be this first part. Now, guys, if you want to check the full plan I made, okay, no, I think this is too fast, okay? So now I'm going to give you the code, the first code, guys. Be sure that you are going to copy it and paste it. I'm just placing into the comments so you will know that actually you can use it, okay? I'm going to pin it into the top also, so you're gonna see this as soon as possible, okay? So guys, in the moment you have any questions that I can answer it, any like quick questions that you have, just let me know. I will be able to resolve your questions, okay? And yeah, guys, in the meanwhile, I just want to see here in the chat, in your chat, I see that a lot of you are from Vietnam. Okay. All right, so don't worry, I don't understand, but I see that you say thanks. Don't worry, it's a pleasure for all of you. I hope you enjoy the codes. Okay, let's give it some seconds. I'm going to take a coffee in the meanwhile, guys. You know, I'm come from Colombia, so in Colombia we made a lot of coffee. We lost the first place. We used to be the best coffee in the world, but now we are not. Actually, it's Ethiopia, if I'm not wrong, in Africa. But we still have a very good coffee, so I always enjoy of my coffee. Okay, you see, I have a kind of weird questions. Okay, so I don't drink like coffee like this. I use it like this. I don't know. It's more comfortable. Okay. So let's continue with it. Let's continue with the class, okay? Oh, not a problem. It's a pleasure. Trong Ding Shang says thank you, so don't worry, it's a pleasure. And now we're gonna move to the game plan, okay? So very important, guys. How to increase the amount? Okay, quick questions that about Zenith. How to increase the amount of stacks, okay? What you have to do is to open the game files, okay? So about that question, the question that Zenith 20 is asking me, let me show you a quick example about how you can edit, okay? For this, you need to edit the game files, okay? So remember, you only need to place here. You are going to write down app data, and you tap enter, okay? You are going to open this folder, and on this folder you are going to look on here for mini-word data 2410, okay? When you open it, you are going to move to data, and on here you have all your maps, okay? All right, so those that are with W in the top are the maps. You need to look your map. If you just created your map, the quickest way to see it is just by order, by date, okay? So with that, you can know that this one is going to be the map that you just created, okay? As an example, this folder is completely empty, but this one is not, okay? So of course I already have separated my maps because I want to do it. I have my maps with direct access to avoid start searching for it all the time, okay? So what you can do is just open here as an example. I don't know, let's open Karma Arena. You are going to move to mods. You are going to move to map default, and you are going to move to behavior. Once you are in behavior, you need to move to item. And in item, you have all your different items. I already put it names on it. Probably yours is going to look like this. So you have to open. On here, you can use different like applications. Even you can use the block And in here, you're going to find all of this, okay? What you have to do to change the amount of charges is just get down and you are going to find this. This one says stack max, okay? And it has a number after that, okay? So if you want to have more stacks, just change this number. If you place 1000 here, you can have 1000 stacks. Just save it and you can have more stacks with it. That's how it works in it. I hope it works, okay? So now let's continue with the class. And before starting, if you want to access to all the document, to all the game plan and that I use for this, you will be able to do it just by copying this link. You access here to the link, and on there you will find a full document where you can see how I create this map with all the details. You will be able to see how I actually do a full work for it. You can see here all the information, okay, with all the description, all the dynamics, all the information that you need, okay? You can see I have here like the game plan with everything, with also some images that about the inspirational, okay? Also, you are going to see the sketches here, the art references, and all the things that you need to know about the plan that I made for this game, okay? Even you can see those sketches that look very ridiculous, but you can see how I think about the end of the game. So check that information, okay? So I just put that into the chat, check into the chat, okay? And you will see this information, okay? Now let's move actually to the game plan, the one I'm going to teach you, and how I create this map, okay? First, as always, I recommend it to you for doing this specific briefed about the information or the map that you're going to create. I'm going to show you how I did mine. Okay, so the project name for my end is going to be Hell's Party, okay? What is going to be the genre? It's going to be social game and Tycoon. Remember that you have to do a Tycoon game for be able to participate. The theme is going to be health and parties. The art style, as you see here, the art style is very cartoonish. It's very cartoon, like Adventure Time, like any cartoon that you see in your life. That's going to be the art style I'm using for this. Okay, even so, you can see those statues here about the small demons, and also you can see here that even in the back you have also a face right here, okay? So the story is very, very simple. The story I place is this one. This is the health of Paris, and we only have one rule: to party until the end of the world. That's going to be the story. And tonight in the game we choose the king of the carnival party from the hell. And that's the idea. What you have to do in the game is just to do different activities to be the most party and awesome player, okay? The target group, of course, this is going to depend of your end. In my end, I have a specific target group that is going to be for you guys, okay? So this is going to be for teaching. This map is not going to be actually the map that I usually create. It's more to teach you how to do it. This is going to be dedicated or designed for minicamp students from America, Asia, and Spain in intermediate level, okay? That means that you have to know something about how to manipulate games or create games in Miniwork to be able to assist to the minicamp. For the monetization in this game, I didn't place it. Remember, on the previous minicamp, I placed a lot of ideas. And remember, the monetization needs to be very related with the target group. The only advice that I'm going to give you today is, guys, never, ever, ever do a fully pay to win. It's going to be very boring for the players. Probably you are going to get some sales, but the players are going to be very bored because they are going to see that you need to pay to win, of course, and probably they won't be able to, or they will like to play your game. So that is going to be at the beginning very good, but after sometimes the players are not going to play anymore your games because they are going to recognize that you're actually always creating those kind of games. So On the long term, you are going to see that your earns are going to be reduced, okay? Try to find a more friendly way to one. Now, for the differentials, guys, remember, I always teach you this. The differential is why I'm going to play your game, why your Tycoon or your party game is going to be different from the other party and Tycoon games that you can find in Miniworld or in any other game, okay? So, I have my special difference. The first is the character design and the scenario design. The second one is that I play social activities that most of Miniverse doesn't have. So remember, on here, you are going to have a lot of activities. Let me show you. So you have sing, comedy, rap, battle. There are social activities which you can make friends and you can just making luck with some friends. So you have draw, statue, and dungeon testing. It's the same when you don't want to activate your mic. And also you have some mini games, okay? So if you see here, I have some social activities that are going to be the main differential. And probably yours too, because you already going to know how to do it. Now, apart from the art, I'm going to make colorful buildings and decorations, which actually is not a big differential, but it's most of the games. Another one is the one that you can do voice games in Miniworld that most of them are not going to have. And of course, as my old differential for all the different games, is that I really know how to do scripts. So this is going to be a differential. I'm actually very good at this. I'm actually very good at creating scripts. So that's going to be a big differential, okay? And now some technical part about this scenario. First, the playable area in total is 100 for 57, but every part is less. Every playable part, that means the art room, the auditorium, is going to be less than 64, okay? That's very important, guys. Remember, that will be very helpful here. Okay, just a second. Let me try to escape from here. I fall in a loop. Okay, my bad. And now I'm on, okay? So, this is going to be a big differential, guys. No, well, sorry, not a differential. And it's that, a big requirement, players needs to be a max 10 players, okay? I designed my map that way, and I highly recommend it to design yours to define how many players can play at max. Remember that it's not the same to play for 20 players that play for 5. In these kind of games, of course, you are going to have a limitation, and it's the space, okay? So let me show you this very quickly. Just a second. And as I'm going to play for 10 players, I put a walls number for each player, and the max amount of players are going to be 10 players, okay? So as you see, these rules or the game is designed for 10 players. The characters are going to be demons. The win conditions, that's the most important part, guys, are going to be the most awesome player won. The playtime is not limited, but the players most of the times are going to be played in between 10 to 15 minutes. And the other rules is that the host manage all the game, okay? Now, guys, our game, the game that we are going to create has like different scenarios, okay? So every time that we choose an activity, or we are going to have the time to choose, we are going to have 3 different states. The state 0, it's going to be when the player chooses which activity are going to be the next. That means that when I do this, as you see here, if you place here, you are, well, actually this is not working fine for some reason, but this is going to be state 0. On state 0, the host cannot move and the players will be able to move around freely, okay? Once the player chooses the activity that is going to play, we are going to have 10 seconds of relax, okay? In the 10 seconds of relax, we are going to set up some variables for the game, but the players will be able to move freely. So check this, you have the relax time here on the top, okay? And when the game, or when the time for relax ends, you are going to be teleported to the area, which actually is going to be the activity. You are going to have 108 seconds. Also, you are going to have a time before that, as you see here. And you can use different things like the react part here that you can use to react to other player performance. Of course, you can see the awesome method here also, okay? That's going to be the three different like stats that we are going to have. So be very pending to this, guys, because I'm going to teach you how to do this. And you will learn how to just make that for saving a lot of time, okay? Now, we are going to have like different things, and this is going to be the most important things before we're going to start, okay? You have to create a list of your activities, okay? For this specific minicamp, you are going to create those activities, and I need you to place the next information. First, remember we have an ID for the activity, okay? So we have a number for it. My activity 0 and 1 is going to be the same as yours. So this one is not going to move. You can start creating your activities apart from the number 2, okay? So in my case, 0 means no activity. Once more, means this. 0 means this, okay? Sorry, guys. Then the number 1, you are not going to move it, please. And also, let me do this directly, okay? I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to just put it here so you can no move this, okay? Those ones, you're not going to move it. And relax time. Once more, if you see it's just the same, it's number 1, it's going to be relax time. And then you can create your activities. And I need you to think about it and make the list, guys, because it's very important. So first, we are going to have a number, an ID. And the number 2 means that the activity name, or what we are going to do, is to sing, okay? Let me just place it here once more, okay? If you see, the activity number 2 is sing, okay? What I need you to do is, for each activity, you are going to plain a text. What is going to work the text? When the players react to the player, the game is going to tell that the player is reacting for that name, okay? So as an example, if you set a like for a player, it's going to tell Pepito Perez or YeyoCore loves the song from X person, okay? Now, comedy is going to be the number 3 in my end. As you see here, I have comedy here. And of course, what you do on comedies, you do jokes, okay? So just place the action here. So when you sing a song. When you do comedy, you place a joke. When you do a rap battle, you rap with rhymes. When you draw, you make a drawing. When you do a statue, well, you can do a statue. When you do a dungeon, you are going to decorate it, and so on, okay? So now, apart from that, I need you to think about this. Which items the player is going to have in the hands for when the activity is going to start, okay? So if your player is going to have, as an example, anything, just place it here, okay? So as an example, you see that all those 3 are voice activities, okay? So as these 3 are going to be voice activities, you're gonna see that here I'm not going to have anything. I'm going to just delete it. In 10 seconds, we are going to check that. So that means that for that game, you don't need any item, okay? You're gonna see it. Okay, use your microphone to sing. As you see, the instructions are here and also here. And as you see, my inventory doesn't have anything, okay? No items here. But, and this is very important but, okay? Okay, guys, this is going to be a very important but. If I choose an activity, okay, like a statue or like drawing, okay, let's reduce the time so we don't have to wait that much. You're going to see that my inventory part okay, and you are going to see that a little bit. Okay, so for those that are wondering my age, I have 30 years. So you can see that here, guys. You can see that we are going to have the items here. So drawing, it's going to have a painter, and you have to place the amount. A painted egg for 128 and wins. And if you see here, you can see that I have those items in my inventory. The painter, the X, 64th and 64th, and finally the wings. And that's what you think. Of course, you are not going to have my activities. You can place whatever activity you want, but very important, guys, be sure that you just set this according to your roles, okay? And now let me shows or change this a little bit, okay? So we are going to start to creating some things with this, okay? So what I need you to do, it's that you are going to access right here to the developer tools. You are going to move to trigger and you are going to do a variable library, okay? And you are going to create a new variable. You are going to choose the next things, okay? And this is very important, guys. Just do it as I'm going to do it. You are going to select this one, character string, okay? And you are going to name it. Of course, I have it already created here. Try to use the same names I'm using. And you are going to search for that. Sorry, I didn't see it. You are going to see as a string group, okay? And the first one that you are going to place or you are going to create is activity name. That's going to be the name of your variable, okay? So create this. And on here, you are going to place the names of the activities, okay? So the first one, as you see here, it's going to be relax, okay? So once more, don't put anything on 0 because you cannot start with 0. You can see it starts with 1. And in 1, you are going to put relax time, okay? Number 2, it's going to be sing. Number 3, it's going to be comedy, and so on, okay, guys? So you can see I have more activities, but of course, we are going to learn just from to the number 9, okay? So as you see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 that are going to be our numbers and also our names, okay? Now, you are going to do the same, okay? You are going to create a new variable. Once more, you are going to select once more string group, okay? So remember, character string is just a single group is going to be this one, okay? And if you see, the groups are going just to be the same as you see here. It's going to be a table, okay? Where you can put variables with some specific key that is going to be the number and a value that is going to be what is going to be inside of it. So in this case, we are going to select again a string group, guys. And this time we are going to name it activity text, okay? And once more, we are going just to do the same, okay? So from our table, we have existence, all right? Existence, we have song for the number 2. So number 2, song, and so on, joke, for the number 3, and so on. As you see, it's just doing the same, but we are dividing this. So activity name here on the top is this one, okay? Just let me place here, and activity text, it's going to be this one, okay? So as you see here, this is going to be the name of your variable, and this is going to be the value, and of course this is going to be the key, okay? So you are going to have those numbers right here and those everything. What we left for that, we have the item section, okay? So as you see here, I don't have any item, but in here we will have to create like a different variables, okay? So the first one you are going to place is inventory or item. Let me check how I place it here. I completely forgot about that. So you need to create a new variable and you are going to set up as a item group, okay? You're gonna find it here. You don't place this one, you have to place this one, the one that says item group, okay? Select that one and you on here are going to create 3 variables. The first one is going to be item 1, item 2, item 3, okay? So how you place it, item 1, okay, item 2, and item 3. Okay, you can put more of them. Of course, I'm just basis my or set up my games to place it only in 3 items, but you can do as much as you want it, okay? So what you are going to do on here, you have to add a complete list here, as you see. If you don't have all the numbers, remember with the plus, you can add more values. And on here, you can set up which items you are going to place for that activity. So once more, item 1 is just going to be this first one. Sorry, item 2 is going to be just this one, okay? And item 3, it's going to be this one, okay? This is going to be the items that you are going to give. So once more, item 1, in the first 4 activities, I don't have anything. You can place something like this. If you place fruit work, we are going to delay it later. So this one and click to select is just going to be the same, okay, guys? So just for you to know. Hello, how are you, Dark Knight? Welcome, bye. And yeah, just 2 of you. And welcome new. Okay, guys, so once more, 4 fruit activities from the number 1 to the number 4. Those 4 doesn't have an item. In the number 5, we have as number 1 the painter, okay? So as you see, in the number 5, we have the painter. Now, the second item is going to be paint an egg, okay? So as we only can place 1 item per group, we are going to create a second variable. We are going to name it item 2. And in item 2, you can see painted egg, okay? As you see, it's like a list. And the third item, or item 3, is going to be this one, that is going to be wins. And as you see, it's going to be wins right here, okay? So you can set up that very quickly, and you are going to have like all the list with the different things that you have it, okay? Now, we left a part, and it's going to be this, okay? We need to tell the game how many items you are going to give to the player. How do you do that? You are going to place a new variable. This time you are going to choose the numerical group, okay? No value, this one is not going to work fine. Just choose numerical group. That's going to work fine, so select that one. And in numerical group, you have to place item number, okay? So what it's going to do, as you see, is item number 1, item number 2, and item number 3. So on here, you are going to place the amount of charge for the item that you are providing. So remember, item 1 was painter, but the amount is 1, okay? And remember, is the number 5, okay? So what I'm going to do is number 5, I put 1 item, okay? So now for the number 2, okay? For the item 2 is going to be a painted egg, and I'm going to give 128. So you see number 5 on item number 2, I have the amount. So you have to create, of course, 3 variables. This is going to be item 1 with amount of charges and so on, okay? And you add the amount of activities with the number. That's going to be the most complicated part of this. So this is going to be a quick way to have like a database for your game. And that's how you are going to have everything automated. You don't have to set up everything for the activities, okay? Now, let's move and let's see the auditorium or the locations. So let me do this. So it's going to be easier for you. So remember, I have those activities. I need to place those activities in a physical part, okay? So in my map, once more on here, let me exit from here. Okay, so once more, we got everything here, and we need to place the activities in a specific location, right? So we got the singing part, and of course we have like the different areas, okay? So we have the auditorium, the beach, the buildings, the art room, the Hell Street, everything here. So what I did is like locate those minigames in a specific space, okay? So the auditorium is going to hold all the games related with boys. As you see, it's going to be rap battle and comedy and sing. So the auditorium is going to be this area, and the players will be able to do that right here, okay? Now for the art room, we are going to do ball statue, draw challenge. For Hellhatam Street, we are going to have like the decoration, and currently beach, we are going to have all the games. So you have to do this, guys. Locate your games, your activities, after you do this, in a specific location. With that, you will know if you have enough time, okay? And the final part, and the most easy one to understand, is how to create the awesome memory, okay? Of course, you cannot see it because we are not in multiplayer, but on the top here, okay, let me close this. you have this part, okay, that is the awesome meter and the reactions, okay. So I put the next list for it place because we are going to learn how to do this, how to make a reaction bar, but you are going to place an emoji with a number. Once more, we always do the numbers here, and we are going to put an effect, okay. So this, the love or the emoji text, is just the same that we do before with the activities. So the number 1 is going to give 6 points to the awesome meter, and it's going to tell the game that you love that something that is doing the player. The like is going to have more 4 more points in here, and it's going to be likes. The dislike button, that is going to be this one, it's going to reduce the amount of the point or the score of the player, and the boo, it's going to reduce amount mark. If you are the host, you are going to have 2 reactions more. This one that gives more time to the activity, and this one that reduces the amount of activity, so the host will be able to control the game. Let me show you very quickly here. If I place here, it's going to reduce the time. If I place here, it's going to increase 15 seconds of the time, okay? And we are going to do the same, guys, okay? So keep in mind this number. You are going to create an emoji scored, okay? So let's do this. As you see, let me show you. If I place here, the number increased. If I place here, the number decreased, okay? Now, we are going to do the next thing, guys. We are going to just place on here. You are going to go once more to the activities, and you are going to create a one. You are going to select also numerical group, and then here we are going to place the scores, okay? So the name of my variable is emoji score. As you see here, we have the value for each one of the different like numbers here. So the number 1, it's going to be +6. As you see here, you have the number. The number 2 is going to be +4, and so on. You can see we have the same values, okay? Oh, of course, I see here I made a mistake on this one. It's supposed to be 15, and that's it. Now, just with the same rules, as I think now it's very clear, you are going to create the text, okay? So you are going to create a string value or a string set. That means with characters, with letters. And for that, you are going to see a string group right here, okay? So you are going to create another string group where it's a strings. That's something that sometimes it's hidden for me. And if you see, you are going to do the same, okay? Give me a second on here. So you can say love. It's the one that you can see up the top. The number 2 is likes. So you have likes here, and so on. You have all the activities here, okay? So I think that is going to be very clear. Now I'm going to provide you the code, and if you have questions related to this, just let me know into the chat. Okay, I think it's, yeah. Now I just put the code on there, guys. I just replaced the top message, so you will be able to claim the code. Okay, guys, so questions up to the moment. Okay, so let me read you in the chat, guys. One moment, I'm going to take the time to read you very quickly and really careful about that. And I hope you understand everything. Now I'm going to teach you how to do some graphic testing, okay? All right, guys. So I think it's enough time to copy the code. Remember that the code is also pinned in the top, so you are going to see it. And now we're gonna cover something very important, okay? And that's that in the screen you are going to see this, okay? And is what will be the difference of how you can create and now some color like this? You are going to see that the design is not like, I don't know, like overcovered or like completely, I don't know, ugly. If you see in the screen, well, ugly, it's very relative word, but you see that it's ordered, that you can see the elements, that you know where is for what, and most important, that is a very aesthetic one. It's beautiful for saying like this part, not a problem. I see that numbers, I don't know how to pronounce your name because I don't know Japanese. I think it's Japanese, yeah. You say thank you, so don't worry guys, I'm more than happy to share the code with you. Okay, but in the screen you're seeing right now like a graphical part, and I'm going to teach you how to create this, how to make a difference in between this. Okay, and of course I hate myself for doing this, but I have to compare. Okay, don't worry guys, I'm going to show you just a comparison, but it's not because the player has a bad math, he doesn't know how to create those specific parts. Okay, so you're gonna see the difference between that and this. As you see, it's not comfortable at all, it's too charged, it's like too difficult. Okay, so we are going to learn how to do the difference, okay, in between that and the previous one. Okay, so as you see here, I even can click on this one because this is covering me, and as you see, it's not like the best way of doing it. Okay, so as an example, if I move to this area, I'm supposed to be able to do something, but I can't, and we are going to learn the difference. Okay, how to change this into the menu that you see before. Okay, so guys, I think this is going to be very important, and let's start with graphic design basics. Okay, so before starting creating an awesome or a cool UE or a cool design, you need to know the basics about an UE and graphic design. Okay, so we have a big difference. We have elements that you can use to design anything, not even UEs, you can design anything, and properties that you can set up for those shapes. Okay, so those apply for any of those. Okay, but I'm going to teach you what will be like the difference for each one. I will need to open this because of course I know the idea, but I have my notes taken in some part about here, so I will be able to explain a little bit better this. Okay, so just give me a second, I'm going to just change this. Okay, so first we have a line. Okay, and let me explain how a line works, but before that let me close this, and I'm going to move to my map that is going to be have a better idea about how to use this. Okay, let me switch back to this one and let me show you some real examples here. Okay, so we gonna start with the line, guys. Okay, so with this we are going to learn for what works each part of this and how to apply it into the mini world. So let's start with a line. Okay, so what is a line? A line is an element from one dimension. Okay, that's going to be the most important part, that is the union in between two different points. Okay, of course you can have lines like this, but the most important idea is that it's going to set up a trail in between 2 points. Okay, a line always express, or most of the times, dynamism, movement, and direction. So thanks to the line we can create tension, we can separate elements in our interface, and we can structure or give a structure to a menu. So let me show you a real example. Okay, inside MiniWord, if I use a line here, you can see that you can separate elements, and you will know that this is the title and this is the description for it. Okay, what is important about the lines? The lines have like different features, and let me just show you real-time examples here about this, okay? So if you see the line is going to have some properties. First, you can have a different like gross, I don't know how to say this in English actually. Grosor is going to be weight. It's going to have some weight. And as you see, depending of the amount of weight of the line, you're going to have like different expressions, okay? So in many words, you see this line, it's very, very tight. It's not that big. So that means that it's work very fun to separate things. In my same presentation, you also can order elements by lines, okay? So as you see here, I'm using lines also from different types or weights to be able to pronounce that this is connected and this is a subpart of this, okay? So that's very important, guys. That's another property. The other thing that you can set up for lines, and that is going to be important, is the color. Remember that a line have like different colors. You can choose whatever color you have, okay? Now, another important thing is that you can change the texture, okay? So as an example, this is going to be also a line. But as you see, a line is not a rect part. You can use a different kind of lines. And you can do whatever texture you want. Of course, I just limited what PowerPoints let me do, but in the real life, you can do any kind of line. Of course, it's going to be easier to do with this one than this one. Okay, but a line is any kind of design that you can use with those lines. Okay, now from the same elements that we got on here, we also are going to have something very important. So remember, the line is one dimension, so we are going to have another one that is going to be two-dimensional object, okay? So the two-dimensional object is going to be the shape, okay? So what is going to be the difference on the shape? That the shape is 2 dimensions. You only don't have a point, you also have a wheel and a sides, okay? So it has 2 dimensions, okay? Why is going to be very important this, okay? If a line helps us to separate and order our work in any kind of UE or design, a form or a shape is going to give us a plane limited to 2 dimensions, and is going to give us like a visual impact. It's going to give us a focus, so you can focus on some specific point, okay? So we always have 2 different kind of shapes. We have the geometrical shapes that are the most common, the circle, the square, the triangle, and not like geometrical, more like organic shapes like this one, okay? And every one of these is going to express different things, okay? So you can use geometrical parts to order something, to bring order into the composition and to make it look clearer. And like this, as you see, I'm using shapes on here. I'm using a square here, and I'm using also another square or like a rhomboid figure here, and it gives a structure to my ideas, okay? Also, as you see here, it like limits the text, okay? So if you see here, you are going to understand, because I put a shape behind it, that everything around this, it belongs to this specific features, okay? So you know the voice is going to be have the title of sign, and also is going to have a description because of the shape, because it's inside the shape, okay? Important things, this is an important tool, guys, because logos are using this. If you realize in here, we have some examples about logos that use this to express, to create a visual identity, okay? Next, we are currently in 2D. We have the next one that is going to be 3D objects, okay? So 3D objects means it's just something simple like this. It's actually an object is just the same as a shape, but you provide you provide a shadow, you provide a light, you provide a volume for it, so it's going to be very useful. It has also the same feature of the shape, but you can make those elements look more like I don't know, like to be highlighted more. Okay, so check this. I use a line here, I use a shape and a shape, and then I use an object just in the middle that is going to be the microphone. So you are going to understand that this is the icon for the category. This is going to be which actually separates the shapes, and this is going to divide the information, okay? So until the moment, you are going to see different elements that you can use for your graphical design, okay? Important things apart from this is going to be the typography, okay? So it will be perfect if we can express everything with images, but it's going to be very hard. Of course, in many words, it's going to be harder because you cannot import custom images. So a powerful tool is all the text, okay? What it's going to do the text? The text can express also, as you see, we have different examples. As an example, if I want to do something like technological for a game, you can use text like this. If you want to do a medieval game, you can use something like this. And if you want to do a funny game, you can do something like this. But apart from the part that express and that gives like a graphical identity or like an art concept to your typography, you can use it to send information to the player, okay? And that's going to be very important. If you want to do a good design, try to describe. Don't put a lot of text, but to try to describe in very small words what it's going to do, okay? As you see here, we are using that. And an important part is that ManyWord doesn't accept like different typographies, just the text, okay? So these are going to be the shapes, guys, okay? Now, when you want to use something or create something, there are some specific things that we have, okay? So we already know this. This is going to be very basics. You don't need to be a genius for this. But now we are going to learn how to use this by the different qualities that this has, okay? So we're gonna switch, or let me show you some examples. So in the first part, we see some logos that use shapes. Now check what you can do when you add typography. As you see, you can have more information. Also, you can complement that shapes, and you can make it better looking just by adding some text, okay? Also, you can play with by text. As you see here, you can see a Y, okay? And a lot of other things. But now we are going to learn some tricks, and it's the texture, okay? So when you have a shape, you can bring a texture like I did here. Of course, in the visual part, you cannot have a texture, but a texture can express a lot of things, okay? So what is going to do the texture for your games? In the texture, you are going to make it better looking. You are going to give like a part of work that is going to look your map or your UE more elaborated, and that's how it's going to work. I just put some quick examples here about what a texture may look like and how the shape that we see before here or around here can change completely when you add a texture to it, okay? It's like the skin for any kind of shape or 3D object. Now, let me show you an example, okay? So we have the space, guys, and this is going to be one of the most important things, the things that I'm going to teach you right now, apart from the shapes, is how you can use the shapes. And why is important and the space, okay? The space is where you place the shapes, okay? And what is important, okay? It orders our elements, okay? We have to work over the space, and this is going to be very important when you create something that looks stunning visually, okay? We can group and change the positions to make something looks better, okay? And we have something called positive and negative space I'm going to teach, okay? So let's do it with this. Imagine that this is the screen or your cell phone, okay? So we have these shapes. We have some ways to repart this. As an example, okay? If I place the shapes, any kind of shapes, imagine that these are buttons, you are going to see that your cell phone is going to be a focus on here, okay? So this part is going to be completely ignored. Probably you can have a gameplay here. But if I do this, okay, you can see that that is not going to look ordered at all, and it's going to be like too complicated. It's not going to look good because you don't know how to look. So as you see, we can change the space here, okay? So remember, the first thing we have to do always is to check the space, okay? So another example is that you can change the size of a shape. But if you place something like this, it's going to be too complicated, it's going to abstract, and it's going not to look better for the image that you're creating because it's covering everything. Same as if in the space you place a shape like this. Probably it's going to be like too small that the players are not going to notice, okay? And also imagine that you can place something like this. Okay, as you look, it's going to be more order and it's going to cover the space also, okay? So if you see, the space is which gives us how we can create our UE, okay? And I want you to notice something, okay? In many words, we are going to have a space limited by this. Of course, we already have some elements, and this is going to be the space where we can work with, okay? So as you see, something that I made is that I group all the elements in just a part, so they are going to look that they belongs to the same part, okay? So as an example, if I do this, we are going to have two different elements here. One element on here can be, as an example, the live part, and another element here will be a menu, okay? So that's something that you learn how to place. And remember, guys, rule, don't cover all the space, okay? If you cover all the space, it's probably not going to look fine. Remember, I have free space, okay? And we have something that is being called black and white space, okay? Or like inverted space. If you see, the space itself, it brings some kind of decomposition. So as you see here, this is a shape and it's using the background or the white space to make the image result. Remember that you can use that too, okay? So something that you need to realize is the white spaces. So if you see, try not to check the looks, just try to check the gray part, okay? So if you see, the gray part also looks fine here. Okay, so you can see there is a separation and it's order, okay? Not just the elements, also the white part, okay? And then we are going to have the color, guys, okay? The colors, I think, and the space are going to be the more important things here, guys, because with colors, you can express different things and also make your like UE look great and full, okay? So this is going to be a big part, guys. I know that in the school and most places you are going to learn how to combine colors, but sometimes it's something that we didn't really know how to work. So for those that know how to combine colors, you know, guys, there is like cold colors and brain colors, and also you have like primary colors, secondary colors, and tertiary colors that are going to be the mix of everything, okay? So I'm not going to explain that in detail, but I'm going to teach you some cool things first. First, remember when you are going to use like a tool like I did, it's better to combine the colors. As you see, I'm using 3 different colors, okay? And the 3 different colors look very good together, okay? And that's why I know how to combine colors, okay? So I bring you a tool here, okay? Let me open this in a website, and this is going to be very useful for you guys when you use a color here, okay? When you use a color here, you will be able to create your own colors, okay? So this is a tool that you can use to create your UE, okay? On here you have like different explanations about it, okay? So this is going to be an easier way. You have analog. Analog means that you are going to use the colors that are next to it, okay? So if I use green, yellow, and green, it's going to be an analog, okay? So check my UI. If you see, this is going to be an analog. It's going to be purple, it's going to be green, and it's going to have also a blue one. So we are using the colors that are next to it, okay? With this tool, you can do a lot of things. You have already the way to combine your colors. The only thing that you need to do is to choose a color. As an example, I'm going to choose, I don't know, let's use a 3/8 and let's use this color. As you see, I can move. As an example, I want to start with blues, okay? All right, so I have my color here and I have the colors that will combine with that. What I need to do is just to copy here, okay? And let me start a new UI here. As an example, if I want to use those colors, you can place the color here, okay? So as an example, my base color is going to be that one, okay? The background color is going to be this one. That is the code that we got here, okay? So let's do it. Okay, remember we need to put this before to work. And I don't know, this color is going to be working here. So I think that background color is going to be for this one. Okay, no, for this one, for this one. And as you see, you can combine a lot of things by using this, okay? So you can use those tools. You have a lot of ways to combine color here, so you don't have to worry about that. And it's going to be very easy, okay? Now, that is when you want to create your own colors, okay, for your UI. Remember, just to use those. Don't use other colors. So if you set up like an analog palette like this, use that colors that you can see here, okay? But as an example, if you want to avoid, and I'm going to place that into the chat, just give me a second here. Okay, so if you want just to create that, okay guys, if you want to create an awesome interview with that, use that tool. But also I have a tool for you guys that already have the color made by professionals. That means that you don't have to worry for that. If you have this tool, you only need to search something that expresses the colors that you want. As an example, game action, okay? You put game action here, okay? All right, what is not looking for? Okay, action, let's put sci-fi, okay? Okay, that's not going to work like that, but you have on here already a lot of combinations made by professionals, by designers, so you can see which colors you want to use. As an example, if you want to do a sci-fi or sci-fi science fiction, you can copy those colors. As you see, you can see the colors here. You need only to place it here, okay? And you can do, as an example, something like this, okay? Now, check that. It's going to look better. It's going to have like all the different colors, okay? This is going to be colorhunt.com. With this, you can just have a good way to actually have something ending like this, okay? With which you can combine here. Now, guys, as you see, the color is going to bring us or give us a lot of specific characteristics and specific features, okay? So it's like the most important thing in color design because it gives relevancy, hierarchy, perception, and you can also like use the colors to express something, okay? So when you use the color to express something, that depends of your culture. Of course, Vietnam culture is going to be a little different like Colombian culture. As an example, in some cultures, the color white is going to use to just to express death. But in my culture, the color black is for that, and in another cultures, you use red for that, okay? But those are the most common ideas that you can use the color for, okay? So this is something called psychology of color. You can check that in Google. You can search more courses about that. This is just an introduction, but In general, when you use red colors, it expresses excitement, strength, love, and energy. So, as an example, if you are going to use an action game, you can use red color in that in your UID, and that is going to express that to the people. As an example, if you want to do an horror game, most of the times you are going to use black because it means like darkness, but also you are going to see red because it means blood, but also it means excitement. So you are going to have that emotion that you feel like, oh my god, I'm like with fear, but also I like excited because I can be I don't know, fear all the time. If you see in most of the colors, you never are going to see in an horror game like a yellow color and an orange color because it expresses happiness, express warmth, express cheer. So it's not going to be the best way to express it, okay? So as an example, if you see here, I use 3 colors. The color blue, it expresses competence, loyalty, peace, trust. The brown color expresses luxury, spirituality, and ambition, and the green one expresses nature, freshness, and quality, but all together express like something fresh and something colorful, but not like, as we are in hell, we are not going to place like yellow colors because it's the hell, it's supposed to be a dark place. So we don't use that colors, okay? So with this, take those tools, you can express a lot of things in your games. For this, as an example, I don't know, if you are doing like a parkour game, you can use the UI that looks green because, as an example, you are doing a medieval game, okay? And as an example, if you are using or doing a Tycoon game that is going to be related to get money, you can use the purple and the black and the white. It's going to be and look very amazing. Now, we are going to check the last part, guys, and it's the UX. The UX stands for user experience, and it's how you design your map, okay? So guys, what you are seeing here is how you use your cell phone, okay? So as you see, you can see orange, white, and orange, yellow, and green. And this is how your finger moves around a phone. So as an example, if we are developing a game that is going to be able to play vertically, probably this is going to be the area where you can play comfortable, okay? But MiniWord gets placed like this. So something you need to think is if your UID is your UI is using for cell phones, as you see, all the buttons of MiniWord are around these 2 areas, okay? Where you actually, sorry guys, I have to put it like this, but where your fingers are going to be stuck, okay? So how this is going to be expressed into your game. So if you see, and if you, let's check this. As you see, this specific part that is going to be the trackpad, it's just in your hands, and also the quick actions are here. Those that are not going to be like very important are going to be up to here, and the inventory it's going to be here, so you can be able to be moved around this area. So that's something that you need to think about when you are creating an UI, okay? So as you see, these are going not to be elements that you need to use very quickly. That's why I put it on the top. But with my reaction bar, you have the reaction bar just next to the inventory because you will be able to do this. Sorry, I'm going to take it by the sides. I don't know how to show you guys, but you will be able to do this to react, okay? If I place it right here, probably it's going to be too uncomfortable to play because this is something that probably you need to use a lot, okay? So you need to think about that. Also, very important, guys, you need to think about the size of your UI in your map, okay? What happens is that MiniWord has like different devices, so playing in a computer, it's different to playing in an iPhone and to playing in an Android, and also in between the phones you are going to have different sizes. For this, you are going to have a specific tool that I'm going to teach you tomorrow, but you can set up this to make it comfortable. So probably in your map, you are seeing that this is not covering this, but in another cell phone, probably this part is going to be around this area and it's going to cover your area. So you need to think about that. So what will be the resume of all this class that I teaching you about the graphic design? This is what you can do to actually create an UI. First, check the space, check how much space you will have. If you are going to make a background, make the background, in our case most of the times we don't need it, we are going to add non-color shapes. That means that first you are going to add the shapes. Don't worry for the color is the last thing that you add, okay? So first create your UE. Once your UE has a good like designing ways and shapes and everything, you add the color. Then we add the typography, okay? If you want, that is going to be like the basics, okay? So let me do a quick example here, okay? I'm going not to use MiniWord because it's too slow and we don't have that much amount of time. But imagine that I'm going to create a design, okay? So this is going to be our shape, okay? This is going to be our background. So I'm going to add some shapes on it, okay? So the first thing that I do is I'm going to create the shapes, okay? Now I'm going to like do a small menu here, okay? So you can see in real life how you can apply this, okay? So first step, once more, is to check the space, okay? So we have that space and we need to focus in the pliers. Imagine this is a computer that we are going to click on here, okay? On this part of the sides. So I know that this is going to be empty. I'm just going to create a quick menu here, okay? With two options, okay? It's going to be a dialog from a mob that is going to tell you something, okay? So first I create the elements, then I create the buttons, okay? So this one, it's going to be okay. And this one, it's going to be no, okay? All right, so we have the elements here, okay? We have the background, and now we are going to add no color shapes, okay? Sorry. Now that we don't have the color shapes, we are going to add more elements, okay? Of course, on here, I need to place a person, so I already have here some specific things, okay? You are going to see me, I'm taking more time than the one I'm supposed to, but I'm going to just take this time to teach you some things, okay? So let's place a mob here, okay? Let's place as an example this one. Okay, remember shapes, 3D elements, and then we place this, okay? Now we are going to, we have the background, we have non-space shapes, and then we have the typography, okay? So we are going to add the typography right now, okay? Very quickly here. Hey warrior, want a potion, okay? And I'm going to place it like this. Of course, this is going to be like the basic elements, okay? And here I'm going to place a yes, and on here I'm going to place a no, okay? So we got this first part. Now we are going to separate and join with lines, okay? So check this, guys. Now that I have this, we are going to add some lines, okay? Now, this is not a requirement. Remember that the lines are optional, but as an example, you can separate this with a line, okay? So let me move this here. And of course, you don't need to use the color now, but if you don't place the color here, probably you won't be able to see it. So I'm going to place this in the meanwhile, okay? Now, oh, sorry, I don't know why I do that. Now I have to order and group the elements, okay? This is going to be the most important part, okay, in the steps. So first, remember the space I teach you. Remember that we only don't care about the space around, we also want to care the space inside, okay? So something that I want to do is to order this so it's going to look a little bit better. Probably if we bring more space to the composition, it's going to look better. Okay, so let's reduce this and this, okay? All right, so you see the line ends right here. So we are just in the same point here. And also the lines and the buttons start at the same point here, okay? So you see that that is going to be an option, okay? Now that we have already ordered elements, I see that we can use white space. It looks amazing. We can set up the size. This is too big probably because there is no enough space around, and this is too big also probably. So we are going to reduce this a little bit, okay? All right. So now that we have the elements ordered here, guys, we are going to remove unnecessary elements, okay? So on here, we have like not unnecessary elements, but as an example, if I have like here a lot of decorations, probably this is going to reduce the effect. So just delete the elements that you don't need. In this case, I have everything just for what I needed. And now we have the next step that is going to be adjust to UX, okay? So once more, that means that probably this is going to be covered by this part, okay? So this part is being covered in this, so we are going to just use it in the middle. As you see, this is something that we are not going to use all the time, so the players can stop and press yes or no, okay? If this were an action button like a skill, probably this is not going to be the best position, but as we are not going to use it a lot, we don't want to be covered by the life bar, all the other buttons, so we are going to place it just in the middle. And now that we have that element, it's time to use the colors, okay? So the final part is add the colors. So first, we are going to add a background to it, okay? Just give me a second. We are going to insert a white background here. Okay. We are going to send backwards, and we are going to change the color to something that is more neutral, so it's going not to affect that much the composition, okay? Now, what we are going to do, we are going to pin here, and we are going to put the colors, okay? So for that, I'm going to use the tools I already teach you. So we are going to use this, okay? So first we are going to pick a background color for this. We are going to use this one, okay? All right. I don't know why this gets open. I almost closed this. And we are going to just give the color in here, okay? So we are going to just do the same I did in MiniWord. As you see here, we are going to bring the color. We are going to remove unnecessary elements, so we are going to remove the shape for it. As you see, now we are going to use another color for some parts that are less important, but also are important. We don't need to use all the colors, but check this. Now it's looking better. Now for the important elements, we are going to use this one that will help us out to result or to just give the color, okay? Or to, yeah, just exalt that part. Yes. On this we are going to place a no. We are going to remove the border. And for the text, we are going to use this color, okay? Okay, Command Shift C on here. We are going to place the color also. And take a look, guys. Okay, so if you watch here, it looks more and more good, and it's, yeah, for now it's looking amazing. But remember this, guys, okay? So now we have something that looks much better, but some information is losing here. So I think for this one we are going to use another color, okay? So what will be the color that results this the best? We are going to first give like more shape to it. How you can do it? You can use a bigger or a better like growth like this. So it's going to be more noticeable for the players. So now we are going to use this one, guys. Check. Okay, so let me use this, more colors. And we are going to put the color in here. And you have to keep trying until you get the right color. Probably if I do this, it's going to look better. All right, much better, you see? Now we are going to do the same here. We are going to use the most powerful color. And for the letters, we are going to use the different color, the one that is not that much powerful, and we left a color here. So remember, we got this one. Okay, we can use it. We can still use it. And that, guys, is how you make an UE, okay? So as you see, the UE looks amazing just by using the techniques that I'm using. Of course, this image is not the best. I have to choose. Of course, we can use another one, guys, because, well, that is not combining, but yeah, as you see, it's going to look much better with the colors that we start. So if you want to take a screenshot with it, you can see the process to create a good looking UE very quickly. Of course, we are not going to use that one because we are in MiniWord, but in MiniWord you have the same tools here that you can see here, okay? So that's the final part. And now I'm going to give you the last code. I'm going to read your comments. I hope this visual part works for you. And I hope that helps you out to create some awesome UIs here, okay? So you will be able to confirm and to make this look, a little bit better, okay? Remember that those tools are going to be into the comments. Once more, I'm going to place it here. So you will have all the different ways to design your own color wheels. Okay, and guys, we are okay. Let me also just change this and replace the painted meshes. Okay, so guys, that will be all for today. I want to teach you this because tomorrow we are going to start covering more part about the UI system, so you are going to learn better how to create an advanced UI. Okay, so we are going to learn how to do a menu, and we are going to go deep into the UI system. Okay, that will be it for now, guys. Thank you so much for assisting to class. And yeah, see you tomorrow at the same time. Oh, very important, guys. I forgot to tell you this. Remember that the time schedule for the class is going to be 7 p.m., not 6 p.m. Because I see that a lot of you in this morning were like waiting and say like, oh, Yeyo is coming like a little bit late. No, it's that, remember, for this time, the minicamp has changed a little bit. So now it's going to be around 7 p.m. in Central Time. So that's going to be Vietnam time. Check your local area. Probably if you're living in another area like Indonesia, it's going to be a different time, or in Thailand. And that will be it, guys. So bye bye. Thank you so much for assisting to class, and see you